Good morning and happy Sunday, everybody. Day 2 of my month off. Man, this is amazing. I am, uh, my brain just broke for a second there. Uh, I've been saying on all of these Sunday, this is my clearing the bases video, by the way, uh, where I cover various items that didn't rise to the level of their own video throughout the week, but they were still interesting to me. And my friend Kevin says that every week I say, this isn't going to take very long, and it only takes 15 minutes. But that is short for the Clearing the Bases episodes. 15 minutes is a reasonable amount of time for this. They usually go 20 to 30-ish. So I'm hoping my internet holds up here because it's been pretty wonky this morning. All right, let's jump right in to this. And by the way, my next Clearing the Bases, I think, is going to be Friday. I won't be able to put one out next weekend, so I'm going to do one on Friday. I think a lot of people have Friday off because it's the 5th of July. If you don't, I'm sorry. All right, here we go. Last week, Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that, it was Tuesday, at 5 p.m., I put out this video that said PSA is ending the use of their new trading card slabs. I had an inside source at PSA and that they were going to release the news in the next couple of days. Well, I think I forced their hand because at 7:21 that night, 2.5 hours after I released it, they released the news. And the reason I'm sharing this is because they responded with an important detail here. Somebody said, I bought a card on eBay with a flow line. I didn't pay for the grading myself. Would this get a free replacement? And the PSA confirmed, yes, it would be eligible for reholder when reholder is introduced to the market. So good update from PSA there. Okay, here's my biggest topic of the week is breaks. This person, first of all, you've got Backyard Breaks pulled 10 Wembanyama white sparkle prisms in 24 hours. And people are freaking out about this, like they do anytime Backyard pulls anything. Uh, here's Backyard listing one for 50,000 or best offer. And then this person says, but Backyard Breaks open so much more product. And then they've got it in the, caps lowercase style, meaning that they're mocking the people who say that. Let's move on here just for a second because somebody shared last year's. He's claiming that it's numbered to 20 or numbered to 15, numbered to 30 last year maybe. Paolo Banchero had 47 graded last year. Now, we know that some of those are crackouts and resubmits, but the fact that there were 47 tells me that there's more than 15 or 20 or even 30. And there are rumors, I haven't been able to confirm this myself, but apparently Backyard was saying that they opened 30 to 40% of all white sparkle product. How do they get that much allocation? That's another question. But they opened 30 to 40%. So to get 10 of them, and they opened all of them in that 24-hour period. So to get 10 would tell you that if they're numbered, they're not numbered, of course, but if there are 30 of them in the print run, if they had 30 to 40%, it's pretty reasonable. People are just freaking out over nothing. I don't like breaks. Breaks aren't for me. Backyard breaks isn't my kind of thing. But if you're upset about them getting all the hits, join them. Go in and buy into Backyard Breaks. They have zero impact on what I do, what I collect. If I want that card, I'm going to go out and buy it. I'm not going to join in a break. I'm not going to buy ultra modern packs because of the fact that prices have gone up because of breakers. Not 100% because of breakers, of course, but it's a big impact for sure. So I think it's reasonable for them to have pulled 10 if they did truly pull or open 30 to 40% of the print run. Now, you can say they shouldn't have 30 to 40% of the print run, legitimate, but that's not a them problem, it's a Panini problem. And I have something else here. I am way out of order. What happened to the next post? Ah, here it is. I'm going to pull this back over. This person had a great tweet that I largely agree with. He writes, and somebody complained that I'm reading tweets to you, but I have a lot of people who listen to this as a podcast. So the obsession with backyard breaks that so many people have is amazing. They've ruined the hobby. Literally, the only time I ever hear about them is when people lose their minds about them pulling something. They have no effect on my hobby. Hobby dudes just love to be furious. I mean, there's some irony here because he seems to be a little furious over the fury about backyard breaks. And I agree with him. I'm sharing this because I find it interesting as part of this video that I put out. But what backyard breaks doesn't impact me. Now, I will say that they do affect my hobby because I no longer buy, as I said, ultra modern packs or boxes anymore because of the cost thanks to breakers. And some people who love breaks say, "Oh, they didn't cause the costs to go up. It's fanatics." Well, yeah, but demand has gone up because of breaks. And if I'm just going to make some numbers up, if backyard breaks can sell 10 spots at $10 each for let's say a $70 box and profit that much, and 10 people have access to it who wouldn't have had access to it at a $100 box, then instead of selling 3 of those, they can sell 5 of them, and that increases demand. It's hard to explain my position here without actually showing it, but hopefully I've made myself clear here. Uh, Again, breaks are not my thing. Backyard breaks not my thing. But complaining about them and having a huge fit every time they pull a lot of the same thing, I just don't get it. All right, and then I move on to complaining about tops. Here is a home field advantage of Nolan Ryan featuring the ballpark in Arlington. This ballpark opened in April of 1994. Nolan Ryan retired after the 1993 season. So swing and a miss by tops, according to the Vine card, and I agree. You shouldn't be putting out a home field advantage for a guy who never played in that field. I also don't like home field advantage cards, so but that's just me. Okay, speaking of breakers, back to breakers. This guy bought into a Bowman break, got all paper cards, and they were just thrown into a box willy nilly. And I mean, you can see the damage on some of these cards. It's crazy. Uh, Oops. Yeah, that's pretty atrocious. And I think that a lot of breakers think, well, these are just common cards, but people collect these. But then he had an update saying he's in communication with the breaker who couldn't have been more shocked. I guess he has a shipping team and didn't know that. So maybe they'll make it right. And maybe they should make sure it doesn't happen anymore. All right, PSA announced that they are unlocking the PSA Vault with eBay. So now when you grade with PSA, you can have the choice to submit it into the PSA Vault where you can automatically list it on eBay, which I got to be honest, is a pretty good deal. If I were, I have some cards now that I graded through eBay that I intended to sell, but I'm terrible at selling. I'm terrible at shipping. I hate it. So I just have them in a box to sell later. If I had had that option to do this back then, it would have been so much easier and I could have sold them so much quicker. So, yay to PSA and eBay. I'm actually happy about something PSA is doing. Um, yeah, I think this is good. Another good thing from PSA is their grader notes. Now, Uh, this shows, you've probably seen greater notes by now, but it shows greater notes centering front, left to right, surface, dimple, front, top, border, so you can actually see where any issues are. Uh, and right now they're only available in Express and above. So I think that's great. Hopefully they will expand it to more levels. Now, this is a Collect article where Collect writes, greater notes won't appear anywhere publicly. Customers are free to share greater notes for their cards. But PSA doesn't have immediate plans to post notes for anyone to view. But customer will have no rights to use any of the greater notes except for customer's personal use, and customer may not, whether or not through a third party, directly or indirectly publish, publicly display, recreate, sublicense, blah, 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 without the prior written consent of PSA. So a lot of people have been upset about this, that you're not allowed to share your greater notes. So if I'm doing a PSA reveal, I can't say, wait, why did this get an 8? And then show the greater notes on my video. So a lot of people up in arms over this. But of course, Collect says customers are free to share their greater notes. This person, Ben Burrows, for Collect Media. Oh, okay, so this is actually even better. Down here writes, I followed up with PSA and they confirmed that you can share greater notes in conversation, but posting a screenshot of the notes in a sale listing violates terms and conditions. And Neo says, this is such a massive miss not making them public. I agree. If I'm buying a card, I want to go in and look and see what the greater notes are to see what the issue is. Now, I think PSA is probably trying to prevent you from buying to cross it over. I don't know. I don't know why they would not want them public. Um, so it's interesting. And does this mean you can share greater notes in conversation? Does this mean that I can show them in a video? I don't know. I'm gonna have to follow up with Ben Burrows here. Okay, saw this, thought it was amazing. I don't know. I guess Vaulted is a collectible protection display company. So I'm not promoting their product, but they posted somebody's amazing display here. I thought this was super cool. Just how many cards they fit all these things onto one wall. All right, Gaby, whoever this guy is, says, is this new on eBay? I sent an offer and it was accepted, but it looks like it's still available for sale and someone can come in before me and buy it. So the item isn't yours until you pay. Check out before time expires or someone else buys it first, is what the eBay listing says. So yeah, what happens here is you make an offer to the seller. The seller says, yes, I accept. But until you've paid, and I have auto pay set up on mine. So if a seller accepts my offer, it auto pays and it's mine. But if you don't have auto pay set up, then somebody else can come along and buy it. So I think this is good. You wouldn't want to just eliminate the sale for the seller just because they've accepted your offer. Okay, this seller similarly says, I sent an offer a couple days ago that went to 4 people. It told me that multiple people could accept the offer, but whomever pays first would get it. I think that is a good feature from eBay. This is the perfect tweet. PSA has a mystery gambling vending machine at the Plaza Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. It's a PSA card vending machine that comes with a graded card pack. They're finding new and innovative ways for people to gamble. It's a repack vending machine. It's a $50. Guaranteed PSA 10 is what I read somewhere or saw somewhere. I don't remember where. It's crazy. I mean, you're paying $50 for a random PSA 10 that's probably worth 40 or maybe 100. I don't know. What do you think about these? And remember, I I read every comment, so feel free to throw comments in with your thoughts on any of these subjects that I'm covering today. Okay, so I just want to acknowledge that when I covered the auto paid, you know, the just what I just talked about, auto pay on whatever offers and things like that. Uh, I had a bunch of people who said, "No, this is going to cause problems," and I couldn't envision what those problems would be because I wouldn't have them. But here's a good example of one. This all four of these sales here at $3 to $4 shipping each are from the same seller, and they auto paid $13 in shipping for four cards. Now, normally you would wait for the seller to provide you with an invoice with combined shipping, but in this case, you're already paying for all of the shipping, so you have to ask for the seller to refund your shipping. Not great. I just thought this was a funny. Uh, so this guy offered $34 on a $42 Wembanyama card, and you have 24 hours to, as a seller, to respond. And the buyer or offerer, I should say, writes to him, "Hi there, I made you an offer and you have not responded. I do understand you're waiting for 24 hours, but that is not how you maintain 100% feedback on eBay. You respond right away." This is crazy. Just saying and giving you a heads up. I hope you get what you're asking. But when a good buyer comes along, you've got to ask yourself if it's worth possible lower feedback rating for $5 or $6, or if you should even post make an offer. Some people don't like getting jerked around, especially people who leave great feedback. Just thought you might like to know. No offense intended, Terry. Well, Terry, threatening potential sellers is not a great way of getting good feedback. Although feedback, eBay's feedback system is weird for sellers. Um, yeah, this is crazy. Sending that message is crazy. Okay, the collector writes about the new PSA holders, and this is before. Actually, this is after PSA announced that they were eliminating the new holders, but the new holders will be back. A lot of people saying you can't crack the new holders unless you have a chainsaw. Dealers are mad because people have to accept the grade they're given and they can't crack them out. This is crazy too. Like you're you're sending a card in for a grade, and then when that card doesn't come back the grade you wanted, you're cracking them out, and then you're upset that the company is making a plastic that's uncrackable. I don't know, man. I think uncrackable slabs are good. One of the one of the big problems we hear all the time is, "Oh, all you need to do is crack them out and send them to another company or resubmit." PSA stands for please submit again. And now people are complaining that they can't submit again. All right, let's go with something positive here. Katie Ledecky, one of the greatest athletes of all time, who is, I believe, going to the Olympics again as the favorite, is finally in her first ever tops card. So thrilled to see this. Will Stern shared this. I had not seen this when Tops shared it. I try not to look at a whole lot of Tops posts. So I'm thrilled to see Katie Ledecky on a Tops card for the first time. Wayne Gretzky stick autographed just sold for $336,000, the most expensive hockey stick of all time. Not surprising that it's a Gretzky. Now we're going to get into some criminal stuff here, which isn't exactly positive. Can I pause this video? Why did they put this here? Okay. Lexington firefighter arrested for allegedly shoplifting baseball cards at self-checkout. So he was at the self-checkout. A uh, somebody was watching surveillance footage and noticed him scan cough drops with a box of baseball cards on top. He gave the cards back when he was confronted, but would not go to the loss prevention office. They took his license plate number. They searched the Walmart database for other transactions using the debit card that was used to buy the cough drops. This is some good detective work here. They found 13 other times that card being used. Video footage showed that he had stolen, allegedly. Yeah, all of the thefts totaled $221. But still, why are you stealing from Walmart? I know the chances are very good that you're going to get away with it because they don't have a loss prevention department usually. But if you get caught once, they're going to find all of your other ones. Don't be stupid. Yeah, I've already covered this. So here are the fees. The cost for using PSA's Vault to sell on eBay ranges from 7 to 16% of the selling price. Cards that sell for $1,000 and up get the best rates. So let's say, because I'm in the under 100 to, well, I'm in the 0 to 499. So 14 to 16%. And then it says no additional fees are charged, but you still pay the eBay fee, right? I believe you're paying two fees. You're paying the roughly 13% seller fee on eBay, plus another 15-ish percent to PSA. So I don't know. Is that a lot? I feel like it's kind of, to me, that's the cost of packaging and shipping. I'd be okay with that. Card burglar sentenced. Nicholas Ryan Garrison received 27 months in prison and $300,000 in restitution in connection with the burglary of a hobby shop. And I'm realizing the humor when I said now we're getting into a bunch of theft stuff, and immediately after I had a PSA cost post, just out of order, completely unintended. Here's back to the thefts. He stole from a gaming and trading card store, and he cut himself during the break-in, and his DNA linked him to several similar robberies. Yeah. So I guess the moral of the story is when you're robbing stores, don't cut yourself. Don't leave blood behind. Okay, here we have another burglary, smash and steal at an Idaho shop. They backed a pickup truck through the front of a local hobby shop early Tuesday morning and drove away with what they're calling a significant amount of valuable sports cards. 3:30 in the morning. So what does that shop look like? Here it is right here. All glass front with some concrete. And of course the truck was damaged. The truck that they uh, it blew out one of the tail lights and damage to the tailgate. Yeah, busted. Well, they're not busted yet, but hopefully they will be. And here we are back to the Strongsville card show. Thieves stealing $2 million of rare vintage baseball cards. Jacob Paxton here, who was working behind the front desk at the Best Western. It's still hilarious. And this guy here is Jason Bowling, who accepted the cards from. This is accepting stolen merchandise. They both pleaded not guilty. Yeah, two cards still missing, and they're not saying what happened to them, but they're probably gone. They've been broken out of their slabs. All right, and then a viewer named Will tipped me to this. I did a Attic Find Friday on this Nintendo game, the World Championships, a long time ago. It must have been 18 months ago, maybe. From the collection of featured Netflix collector Zach Geeg. Oh yeah, this is the guy with the Roman King of Collectibles with the house loaded with Nintendo stuff. Crazy. World Championship game. Current bidding is at $58,560. with 13.5 days remaining. Crazy. And then I used to be, when I was younger, in my early 20s, really into Harry Potter, and 25 years ago. But this is a Harry Potter watercolor. This was the original cover illustration for the original Harry Potter, and it's in the watercolor. Sold for $1.9 million. You can see it here. Yeah, it was what went on the original book. Cool stuff. See, 25 minutes. Kevin, sorry, this was a long one. I hope you enjoyed. Throw any comments in there. I appreciate you guys watching. Yeah, maybe I need a nap. I think I need a nap. I'm up before 5 every day, which I love, but some days just time for a nap. All right. Hope you guys have a great day, great Sunday. Talk to you soon.